Why, hello, little boy. You need my help? Uh-oh. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the World of Warcraft Warlords of Draenor beta. My name is Necroxis. Before we begin with the Lockrath nonsense and how much I hate it, we are going to talk to Mankrik here, who is a little boy. And I wonder what his quest could possibly be. Hey, mister, could you help me? This girl I know, her name's Olgra. Her and her parents went back to Wolvar yesterday, and only they never got there and no one's seen them. If you're heading out back, would you look for her? She's kind of my girlfriend. Find Mankrik's girlfriend, Olgra. Thanks, Commander. I don't know what I'd do if something happened to her. Better get used to loss, kid. That's life. We're Frostwolf. We don't lose, Blood Elf. So, once again, we are looking for Mankrik's wife, but in this point in time, it's his girlfriend. So she is way over here by Wolvar, so let's go see if she's dead. I actually don't know. So maybe she will be, maybe she won't be. By the way, I hope I'll be happy for this one quest, because it's like the only thing that's different than the Alliance. So, yay! Alright, we found them. They're all dead. Oh my god, she's not dead. But her parents are dead. That's very sad. Mama, Papa, and Skytooth. Oh, her own wolf. Skytooth, my mama and Papa. The little girl continues to cry over the corpses of her family. Jesus. Consumed by vengeance, they came out of nowhere. From that direction, the young girl points vaguely north through her tears. They were on nasty wolves. Please, Commander, my family's honor is at stake. Will you get vengeance for me? Exact vengeance upon the Warsong Orc for what he did to Olgra's family. My family must be avenged. Jeez, this is depressing as shit. So they kept her alive, but, you know, they killed her whole family and her Frostwolf. That's nice. So, like I said, this is like literally the only quest I've done in most of the zone. That's not the same for the Alliance, because they don't do this quest. So let's see. Here he is. Come here, bitch. Gots to kill you for Olgra. Also, I'm not on my mount. I keep forgetting I can fight on my mount. Alright. This is so challenging, guys. I have to say. Get out of here, bitch. No one wants you. No one asked for you. Look at all the mechanics that he does. Like that one where he shoots a hooked net. This is super tough, guys. Super tough. And he is dead. Let's kill this fool. Get out of here. You're in my way. I'm avenging a little girl's parents. There. Oh, we have to go all the way back to Duratan now. Great. I feel like they did this on purpose. They made you go across half the zone just to then go all the way back to where you were. It's very old school. It's very old school vanilla in BC. Blizzard, I think I like it a little bit. As long as you don't keep the shit a lot of it. As long as there's not a bunch of it. I like the throwback. I like it. We're back. What does she say? Thank you for everything, Commander. I'm happy to be back here with Mankrik, even if he's a jerk sometimes. Don't tell him, but I kind of like him too. Oh, you two are gonna end up together. But she's gonna die. Thank you, Commander. You really are the greatest warlock. What can I say? What can I say? But other than you are absolutely right. I am the greatest warlock. Thanks for saying the Commander, Mankrik. I don't ever want us to be apart again. Ah, dear love. Good on you, kid. Look at this fucking Blood Elf just commenting. Who are you? What are you even? What are you? Bloodguard, Ihanes? As if okay, that's fine. That's great. Good for you. So, anyway, this is the main part of the actual video. Is, Lockrath, where I stopped being so happy about Mankrik and start getting pissed off about how stupid this is. Hey, Commander! Oh my God, Wolvar, what's happening there? Oh my God, we took Lockrath somehow as well. Oh my God.
Despite our victory, the war song are never to be underestimated.
I have good news, Commander. We've already taken Lockrath. Yrel grins. The Alliance's soldiers have captured most of the war song, including their leader, Uruk Folkleaver. I've saved the honor of accepting his surrender for you. They're waiting for you inside, Commander. Are you wondering why I read that with Yrel and the Alliance? Because it's the exact same thing! That happens at the exact same time, with no reference that the other faction has done the exact same thing you did. They just expect you to just roll with it and not realize what the fuck is going on. How can the Horde have taken Lockrath when the Alliance has taken Lockrath? And let me guess, it's all been a trap the entire time, and we're going to have to fight our way out and kill some guys. I haven't done this yet, but that is what my guess is. Let's find out. Oh, it's you, Commander. This thing is ready for you. Hey, look, it's a sergeant who's going to be totally stupid and leaving this guy chained up in his own base. Terms of surrender. Let me think. I think not. Oh my god, it was a trap. Oh, he got away. Oh my god, we gotta go kill him and then kill all the other things. Who would have thought that they would be so lazy to do the exact same thing for both factions with absolutely no reference to the fact that the other faction did it as well? This is total bullshit. It's really annoying. It's absolutely lazy, and it's just plain stupid. At the very least, what they should have done is had one faction got here before the other ones. You know, it would have been so much easier if they would have just been like, look, I don't interchange either faction when I say the Alliance here, but it'll be like, look, the Alliance took Lok'rath, and then as the Alliances, you take Lockrath. You actually go through and you fight them, and it seems weird, but the quest chain kind of ends with you taking Lockrath, and you're like, oh, that's kind of strange, we captured it very easily, and then you end, and then the Horde comes along, and it's like, oh, the Alliance took Lockrath, but we haven't heard any movement from them in a while, and you get there, and it turns out that it was a trap the whole time, and the Alliance or the Horde are all dead, and then you have to finally take it out. I feel like it would give both factions something to do. It wouldn't really make either faction look stupid. Even if the Alliance is the one who ends up getting wiped out, it doesn't fucking matter. Who cares? It would be way better than just this, where both factions do the exact same thing with absolutely no reference to the fact that they did. It's just, yeah, look it. I gotta kill the thing, I gotta destroy the thing, I gotta kill 10 guys, and I gotta kill the guy. It's exactly the same. That's so stupid. But you might be thinking, but Necroxis, that's what they did for Siege of Orgrimmar. No, you're wrong. Because at the end of Siege of Orgrimmar, both the Horde and the Alliance are there, signifying that at least the faction that you are not, at least that they were there in some capacity. Also, throughout the entire raid, you have seen the other faction at some point. The Horde sees Tyrande destroying the gates and coming in. The Alliance sees, we see Thrall, we see Sarfang, we meet up with Eitrig, we see Bane and we see Vol'jin. It very much comes across like a joint operation. But here, unless it's somehow different for some reason for the Horde, you will finish this quest chain and you will not see the other faction at any point. And once again, despite the fact that your faction supposedly did the exact same thing as the other faction did, at the same time, in the same way, with the exact same NPC, and I presume the exact same outcome. This isn't the first time they're going to do this in Nagrand either. They're going to do this with Garrosh. I didn't bring this up last time because I didn't know that it was exactly the same with Garrosh. Now you might say, oh, well, after you beat Garrosh, there's that little meeting where Yrel and the Draenor guy and Duratan and Agra and Khadgar's there, so shouldn't it be discounted based on your own rules? My answer would be no, because you don't see the other faction whatsoever during the siege on Gromashar. You don't. They just kind of show up at the end. So it's... I'll talk about this a little bit more, but I kind of want to just get this out there in this episode. But they could have just, for the Garrosh one too, they could have just showed the other faction coming in at some point. Especially for the Alliance, because it makes absolutely no sense why Thrall randomly shows up in Gromashar, because you don't see him at all in all of Nagrand. At least for the Horde, I've already seen him. We've talked to him. He sent us here. He knows what's going on. He knows that Garrosh was made, you know, the chieftain. Excuse me. Someone pointed out a couple of videos ago that I keep mixing up chieftain and war chief, and they're right. They're not the same thing, but I do realize what the actual distinction is. It's just the two names kind of rattle around in my brain, and whatever comes out, whatever one gets luckier is the one that comes out of my mouth. But Thrall is aware that Garrosh is made chieftain of the Frostwolves, you know, in the Horde, so at least that makes sense. But for the Alliance, they could have done something. They could have at least made us aware that Thrall was there at Grom-Ashar as we were attacking it. He's not referenced at all. I don't even think they even vaguely imply he's there at a quest. You could have had Yrel representing the Alliance. Just have Yrel with a couple of Draenei troopers, a couple of the Rangari, and if you're Horde, you would see Yrel and a couple of the Rangari at some point while you're attacking Grom-Ashar. Maybe at one point during the scenario, you come across a whole bunch of forces in Thrall or Durotan. I believe it's Durotan who you lead through there, but Durotan or Thrall is like, oh no, we have too many troops, and then like Yrel shows up and she's like, we got this, go on to Garrosh. And then if you're the Alliance, you see the opposite. You see Thrall show up with maybe Durotan and some of his forces, and then they do the exact same thing. And the way that you fix it is that at the end, when you fight Garrosh, both factions are there. Yrel and the Rangari are there. Durotan, Thrall, and his forces are there. And all of the NPCs are busy fighting other NPCs, except for Yrel, Durotan, and Thrall, who help you fight Garrosh. That is so easily how you fix a problem like this, without making it seem like you are just utterly lazy at your storytelling. So that is my whole gripe with this, because it is exactly the same. I actually learned about this after I beat the quest chain on the Alliance, and I was talking to Howie about this, because he has only played the Horde. So at that point, I had only played the Alliance, and I was like, oh, Lockrath kind of interesting. Like, they make it seem like you won, and you show up, and it's a trap, and he's like, I didn't know the name of the town at first. I was like, oh, that one quest chain where you show up to that town, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, is that the one in the middle of the zone? What, something, lock something? It's like, oh, yeah, Lockrath, that's what it was. And then he was like, oh, the Horde does the exact same thing. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. It's different though, right? It's like they show up at a different point in time, right? They don't do all of the things, and I listed all the steps, and he's like, no, they do. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense, because it doesn't. I can't think of another point in time this expansion that they've done this, but this is, again, I think it's really lazy. Like, I guess Shadowmoon Valley and Frostfire are different, neither show up there. Gorgrond, you could kind of argue Gorgrond, but I think the difference for Gorgrond is that they make it a point to say, like, oh, it's a savage land, and there aren't many of our forces there. Even that being said, there are still differences. The Horde goes through the Laughing Skull place, where the Alliance does their shit with the Dwarf. Where am I looking? Oh, I have everything done but the Wolf. And so, you know, even Talador, there really aren't overlaps. I guess maybe the only overlap is that you see taking some of the villages, I guess. But I would say a difference is this is supposed to be like an important thing that we're doing right now. It's like, oh, we beat the Iron Horde before they even like did anything bad. We are so great, guys. Blah 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 blah. And even if there were other examples where this is, I would still say that doesn't disprove my argument here. It just kind of proves it more, that they are lazy. They couldn't even be bothered to spend 10 minutes even writing off the differences in a quest, or even in quest dialogue or dialogue anywhere else. It's just, it's kind of silly. I guess not for me, because I didn't have much of a problem with it as other people, but when you're longing for the days of Cataclysm, where, you know, at the end of Twilight Highlands, or in Twilight Highlands, for a big chunk of it, the quest chains are completely different. And I feel like Heimal takes up like a big chunk of the zone, but the zone is still really big. They could have done a bunch of other stuff where the Horde and the Alliance don't overlap so much. I don't have a problem when they do overlap, but at least explain it. Like, at least it should make sense in the story. Like, oh, we're working together now. Not that, oh, we're both doing the exact same thing at the exact same time somehow, but we never acknowledge it, nor do we see the other faction there. That's just goofy. It's just goofy. But, look, I pretty much completed it, and once we turn this in, it'll be done. So, I guess I'll just see if, you know, I'll see how much of it is exactly the same, because thus far it's been identical. Except for, you know, of course, the NPC, but I discount that, because, you know, Durotan's, what he says is almost exactly what Yrel says. I'm pretty sure it's word for word. Except maybe the expression that she makes is different.
Victory lies ahead.
Okay, look. Oh, look, we did it. Oh, Warsong have lots of pride. Thanks, Commander. We were lost. How can I help you? Oh, that was a big old wolf. I heard it yowling. Okay. Daratan, it's unfortunate, but it was a trap. I'm a doofus. Doop-a-doop-a-doo.
I'll see you at the gates of Gromashar.
Yep. So now we have to go back to Thrall. I don't remember. I believe the Alliance's one sent you immediately to Gromashar. But for the Horde, we're going back to Thrall. So I guess we'll see what Thrall has to say, and that'll be it for this episode. Okay, Thrall, what do you have to say?
This land is nothing.
If you haven't gone to Lockrath, our forces would have been decimated because we're retarded and we're led by a really idiot senior sergeant, just like the Alliance, who doesn't realize that they've fallen into a trap. I'm sorry that they hit a trap, blah blah blah. And justice for Thrall. I wonder if this is any different. The time has come, Commander. You've dealt with the Warsong allies and they're holding. Our troops are amassing at the gates of Gromashar. The Shadow Hunters have reliable intel that Garrosh is holed up inside the Warsong fortress. All of our efforts have led to this moment. Let's put an end to it once and for all.
For the Horde.
You gonna say anything? Alright, so there we go. I know this was kind of a bummer and I was complaining for a good chunk of it. But I guess just let me know what you guys think about the issue that I brought up with the... I don't know what I want to call it, like, I don't want to call it overlapping stories, because there are overlapping stories and they can do it really well. I think, again, in Cataclysm, for all the shit that it gets, the Southern Barons Camp Taraho quest chain is amazing when it storyline overlaps, because you see the Alliance goes there first, a bunch of stuff happens, and then when you play the Horde, you get a totally different story, and it takes place a little bit after the Alliance's one, and it weaves together this really interesting narrative, and it's one of the quest chains that a lot of people I've talked to said, at the very least, if they didn't like it, they thought it was, I don't want to say controversial, but at least memorable. They at least remember it. I really liked it. It's one of my favorites in all of Cataclysm. At one point I did say what my favorite was in Cataclysm, and I can't remember what that was. I don't think it was Southern Barons, but Camp Taraho is really high up there, if not the #1. But anyway, so yeah, I don't want to call it storyline overlapping. Maybe it's just like, I guess it's just lazy storytelling. So let me know what you guys think about all of that. Do you think I'm just overreacting? Do you think I'm wrong? What do you think? Do you think it's lazy? I do. But in any regard, we will see you. I will see you next time when we go and fight Garrosh. Once again, it's going to be almost exactly the same from what I heard. It's just a different NPC, but I'm going to do it and record it nonetheless, just in case anything else is said that might be different from the Alliance. So, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you then. But until then, keep on keeping on with the lore, because it's really fun, even though I'm complaining a lot about... Well, not a lot, but in this episode, I really do enjoy the lore still, even if there are some hiccups along the way. So, you know, as always, there is always more lore to explore, especially with the new expansion coming out. And I hope we can do that together, because it's fun. What the shit? Did you see that? It was like a gigantic... Well, whatever. Anyway, thanks, guys. I'll see you next time where we take down Garrosh once again. So until then, farewell.